Hello everyone, I've decided to pull out my French journal today. Does anybody remember me creating this beautiful journal? The cover was made using a masterboard that I made, and I'll leave links to all of the videos that I mention in the description box below, including the masterboard and how I made the journal. This journal here is filled with mini collages using, such a small amount of ephemera, but I just absolutely love the simplicity of this and love the pages that I've done so far, although there aren't that many of them. Now, the reason I've decided to pull this out today is because the challenge in the Facebook group is to create a collage, or several if you want to, using no more than 7 items. And I'll give you a flick through of this and some examples. I mean, for instance, here, this one has only got 5 pieces of collage, and then of course the background paper. We're not counting the substrate, by the way, so it's 7 pieces plus your substrate. This one here, 4 pieces of ephemera, and just look how effective that one is. This one here, again, 5 pieces of ephemera. This one 3, this one 4. So you can create some really effective creative pieces using very few items. Now I've got a wallet here with lots of French ephemera in it. I've got a bag of postage stamps. In fact, these are French and Belgian postage stamps, so I can pull those out if I want to. And then I've just got various pieces of ephemera, and if I can remember where I purchased this from, I'll leave the link in the description box below. But lots of different pieces here, and I think what I'm going to do, I have decided that I'm going to work on this blue page here, which is a French invoice. So I'm going to have a look through this and pull out all the green and blue pieces, and let's see what we can come up with. I might pull out a few neutral pieces as well. I've narrowed my selection down to these pieces here, a couple of neutral options. And then some blue pieces here. Just absolutely love these. Of course, there's no way that I can use all of these, especially if I can only use 7 pieces maximum. But, we've got a couple of options for focal images. I really like these. I've also got this flower as well. So let's see what we can come up with, and of course we can always pull on some of the postage stamps as well. I'm going to start off by choosing my focal image, because then I can pull the rest of the page around that, and I think it's going to be this piece here. I love the colours of this. It's just gorgeous. Eau de lavande. Love that. That one's too green, and that one's just a bit insipid. So that is my focal image. I need something to use in the background, so let's have a look and see what we can pull in here. That one, I think the colours are too samey, especially with the page here. That one's a possibility. I quite like that. Maybe I would have it that way round. That one's too small. We need something a bit bigger. I think for me, it's either of those 2 pages. So let's start off with this. What else can we do? Now, I've also got this wacky idea. This was a mini cupcake that I started fiddling around with a long time ago, with a view to doing a video sharing cupcake flowers. And that was as far as I got. But I've also got this little flower here now. Can anybody remember? This was the flower from my butterfly page from the olive oil magazine last week, and I just think that looks so pretty and pulls out the red in here as well. So I'm thinking that I can maybe use that. I'd like to maybe add some postage stamps as well. So let me just have a look and see what I can find in my postage stamp collection. I've got this little bag here from a huge stash that I got on Facebook Marketplace. Those are a bit too orange. Those came with my French ephemera. We have got this one here, which I really like. We've got this one, which I could cut down. You see, I kind of like it on the background, but it covers up too much of the perfumery. I do quite like that. Republic de France. We have a pink one. Or no, that's what's that Irish one doing in there? Let me have a look and see what else I can find. We've got this one here, but maybe that's a bit too small. Maybe I could have one on the side. I'm still playing around with this. I've tried it with this background here and I don't like that at all. So definitely that is my background of choice. So I am liking that so far. Now I really want to use this flower. I think that's really funky. It goes really well with the background, adds a modern touch, which I really like. I'm also thinking that I could use this natural postage stamp just on the right hand side. I decided against the Europa postage stamp. I don't know, it just didn't look right, so I found a more vintagey one with the right colours. I much prefer that. And then I've also raided my dried flower stash as well, and I found a stem of lavender, so I'm just going to glue that on there and that will be my finished page. And I do believe I will have 7 items. Let's just count: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now to glue my flower down, I am just going to use some art glitter glue. I'm just going to apply a small amount on the back and a tiny amount to the stem as well, and hopefully this will be enough to hold it, because I haven't got any more credits to be able to use any tape or anything like that. So you know, this will have to do. So let's just add a small amount of glue down the stem. Let me just hold it like this so that I can add some to the bottom as well. And then my lavender stem is just going to go here. I love that. Isn't that pretty? Now for my next page, I'm still going to continue with a blue theme. I've got this beautiful piece of ephemera here. This is what it's like on this side, and we've also got this side here dating back to 1859. Just absolutely beautiful. I love this side, but I want to work with the blue because you can still see some of that gorgeous blue in the background. I have also pulled out a paper bag that I want to use, and this is my focal image. Now what I will do is stick a piece of parchment paper in here just so that I can glue the paper bag down. And I'm just going to take this apart. In fact, the easiest way to do it is to just slice a small amount off on the paper trimmer, just because I don't need that much of it, just enough to cover the background. But this has got a very French feel to me. My paper bag apart, but as you can see, it's just a little bit too short, and I've got a very white page which is bound into the journal, so I need to do something about that. This is a little bit short as well, so I'm just going to use some distress ink just to add a bit of colour to the top and the bottom. So I've got my parchment paper in here like this. I'm going to glue the bag down first, and I've made a pencil mark as to where I need to glue that on. And the easiest way for me, I think, is just to apply some glue stick just where I've made this line directly to the background here like this. I've got lots of bumps on my previous pages. You see, this is why I don't like working with bound in journals, just because it's so much harder to work your pages. I just love the flexibility of being able to take a page out and work on it, and then move it around as well if I want to. Let me just take that out so that I don't end up gluing my paper bag to the parchment paper. So we'll have that on there like so. That's a bit wonky. Oh my gosh, hang on, can I peel it up? In fact, it might be easier if I turn it this way round. That will do fine. And if I need to trim a bit off this edge, then I always can do. I can just do that with my Stanley knife. Before I do anything else, I am just going to trim around the outside of the paper bag. I'll glue this piece of ephemera on. This time I'll add the glue to the back, so it's the blue side I want. Let's stick this down next. Again, I think it's probably easier if I do it like this. I want that right against that edge. Let's get rid of as much of that white as we can do. I think I'm going to have to trim this edge here, otherwise that's going to bother me. We'll see. I'm going to cut this down. That is really bothering me, so I'm just going to trim off the excess. And I'm going to do the same on this side here as well. Got a vintage doily that I'd like to use in my background. It's too big. It needs to be cut in half, and I think what I'm going to do is fold it first. This is really, really delicate. This has been coffee stained. Now, this is the focal image I want to use, and I think this has come from an art shop. It says, where's it gone? Ochre et noir, cicatif en poudre, or en poudre, couleur en poudre, and I think that means oils with powder or oils on powder. And so I just think that's perfect, and I think I'm going to stick this down like this. I've already inked around the edges as well using some distress ink, so I think I'm going to glue that down there just like that. You know, I am opting for some of my art glitter glue for the doily, just because this is a vintage doily. It's very, very fragile. You can see sort of where I've cut it in half as well that it's already starting to curl, so I don't want to spoil it. So I think this will be my preferred, a better option, shall we say, than using a glue stick. Now, I've got 4 elements so far on this page, so I'm just wondering if I can use a couple more postage stamps. I've got this one here, which colour-wise is just beautiful. I'm going to pop that one there, and this blue one just here like that, and I'm going to call that page done as well. Now, one of my favourite pages in this journal, where's it gone? I saw it a second ago, is this page here, this Syrup de Citron. Absolutely love this. I got hold of a whole heap of labels. These are all vintage labels that I got from eBay. There's 2 sets here. I think I picked them up for maybe £4 per set a few years ago. Absolutely gorgeous. Look at this one, Syrup de Menthe, Fantasy. But I'm thinking that I want to use this grenadine label, just because I've also pulled this out from the French ephemera pack. Let me just separate these two, because there were 2 and I really couldn't decide. I love this Curacao label as well, but and it picks up the red, but I think the grenadine one perhaps goes a little bit better. So I'm just going to have a look through my stash and see if I can find a background and do something similar to this page here. Oh my gosh, I'm in a right mess here. I have been having a look through my ephemera holders. Absolutely love these because all of my papers are in colour order. I've also pulled out a few bits and pieces from my Flourish journal as well. These are just so helpful, and for anybody that doesn't know what I'm talking about, we made a Flourish journal full of bits and pieces of backgrounds and ephemera, and also these ephemera holders. I've used old photo albums for mine just to keep stuff together, so that when you're looking for things, it just makes them easier to find. Now, I have pulled out these backgrounds here. I've got 2 pieces of wallpaper. These are the same, just 2 different sizes, so it depends on what size background I work on. And then these 2 pieces of tissue paper here. Now, the one piece of tissue paper is the same as the one that I used for this background here. I'm going to discard that one just because I don't want to do something that is exactly the same, but I do think I'm going to work on this page here. This piece here is just a little bit too small, so it's going to have to be this one. Needs straightening up a bit. It's a bit skew if. This is another wallpaper sample as well, so that would work really well. I need something to put across the middle. Now, I think I'm going to discard this because it's a little bit too short, and I'm just going to end up covering most of it up, and it's just too pretty to waste, so that's being discarded. But you see, these would make the most beautiful background for this grenadine label. Been faffing around with this for what seems like an age, wondering if I should perhaps have had some book paper to add contrast, but when I add that, it just doesn't look right. So no, this is what I'm sticking with. So I'm just going to glue these down. You can see that I've already cut them more or less to size. This is coming together now, and I really like it. Now I'm going to use some of this washi tape, but I need to trim it off just at the edge. You'll see why in a second. Now I've decided to glue the lighter piece on top, just so that when I glue this washi tape down, that you can actually see it. If I'd glued it onto the black background, it would have just been too dark. So I've made this one larger just so that I've got my proportions right. So let's just cut that off there, and I'm going to use some Pritt stick just to make sure that it doesn't come unstuck, because of course this is a vinyl kind of wallpaper. I love using wallpaper in my creations, you know I do. So how did we want this? Let's just make sure I haven't got it upside down. So we'll pop this down here, and then we can add our focal image and see if we want to do anything else to it. Of course, I'll need to trim that that right hand edge. Love that washi tape. I think this was one that was included in the Your Creative Studio boxes, although I could well be wrong. Then I'm just going to add my grenadine label just on here like this. I think I want it just lower down, just so that it's slightly sort of off centre. I like that. I love that page. I just think these labels are just so gorgeous. And to finish it off, I've just got one more element. I've cut out the word pomegranate from a vintage dictionary. So just the explanation of pomegranate, because of course that's what grenadine is made from. And I'm just going to glue this on the top here, and that will finish off my page. I've just been looking at this page here, and I just feel as if it needs another element. And I've got one more item that I can add to bring it up to my maximum of 7, and I've chosen this sticker here. I think that will look really pretty added to the page, so I'm just going to stick that on. And this came from the flower set that I had from the washi tape shop. Absolutely love these, so I'm just going to stick that down. It's really nice to dig out my minimalistic French journal, and it's so long since I've used it that I completely forgot that I had all these pieces of ephemera in a pocket I put in the back, so I must do some more pages using this journal. Well, if you've enjoyed the video today, as always, I'd really appreciate a thumbs up. Do let me know what you think in the comments below, and let me know if you've got a favourite one of these pages. But most importantly, thanks for watching. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye for now.